How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, your Ginger Geordie Geek, back for another live show. This time we're doing Geek Talk, and I am joined by my bestest pals on YouTube. We've got Efren, Passpoint Comics. How are you, sir?
What is going on, Comic Book Familia? Peter, you got to do more shows, or we got to do more shows every 2 or 3 weeks. It's just not, I don't like this. I don't like it. I miss you guys. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, we miss you as well. But Efren, we've just been talking before the show. By the gods, have we got an exciting London trip lined up after Thought Bubble in a month or so's time. We're going to be doing a whole host of stuff. So I guarantee,
cheerio.
I guarantee by the end of that week with we, you'll be sick as a chicken.
Especially Peter. 2 days really is enough, so.
But yeah, gonna be fun. Mr. Keegan, how are you, sir?
Ayo, I'm very good. How are you?
I feel like it's a long time since we've had an AO.
I do AO every time.
Yeah, maybe that just blank you out. But yeah, it's nice to see you. I hope you are well. I hope you're well, my friend. We've got lots to get through tonight. Let's see who we've got in the chat. We've got Tragedy Tales. Nice to see you. He was here at 8:20. Very excitable. That's good stuff. Thank you very much. We've got Fuzzy of the Dunlop. Fuzzy's trying to kick it off in the chat already, Mr. Keegan. Remember the times Keegan's tried to claim using a full stop in a message means you're angry or upset.
Not in a message. At the end of them, when you end a message,
James, you lost the battle stop. You lost the battle back then.
Or like a one-word full stop. That means like
you're not gonna. I don't. Yeah, you're not gonna win it now.
Fuzzy just doesn't get modern like the kids lingo these days. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
yeah.
We've got Bat Dan. Nice to see you, Bat Dan. Looking forward to seeing you at Thought Bubble, bud. Hope you're well. We've got Wayne Deacon. Wayne's doing some cracking content on YouTube at the moment. Make sure you go check out some of his pop battles. I'm not a pop man, Wayne, but I do watch your videos just because I think you are, I don't know what the polite way of saying it is. You're entertaining to watch. So I do enjoy watching your videos, mate. We've got the main man. We've got Von Hoot. Oh, Von Hoot. We're going to talk about it in a bit. Transformers 1. Either of you guys seen it yet?
Haven't had a chance yet.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll get to it because I have to say I wasn't convinced at first, but by about the halfway point, I nearly cried at the end, which is pathetic. It's a freaking cartoon. But it was stunning. We've got Chris. Nice to see you, my friend. I hope you are doing well. Wayne is saying Transformers was awesome. It absolutely was. We've got Luke's Journey into Thunder. Always good to see you, pal. Hope you're doing well. And we've got Andy. Again, lovely to see you. Fuzzy, 18 months later, still bollocks. Is that how long it was? Fuzzy's a man that obviously holds a grudge. 18 months later, he's bringing up your full stop thing, James. I mean, what's that?
What spurred it? I'm curious what spurred it. Does he just like sometimes think about me in his spare time?
I think Fuzzy's probably spent a lot of time just thinking about you. I really do.
I do, James.
So
I think
do I.
all the time, man.
Yeah, everyone thinks about you constantly. You know what I mean? Rogue One, we've got Phil. Nice to see you, Phil. I hope you're doing well. We've got Comic Journey. Now, those of you that are UK based and maybe not familiar with Comic Journey, go check out his YouTube channel. He does some stunning content. It is batshit crazy. It's bonkers. This is a guy who I admire because he just says whatever's in his head. There's no.
Not always a good thing, Pete.
Well, but he does it in a funny way. Do you know what I mean? He does it in a funny way. So he's reliable for giving you the truth. So please do go check out his channel. It's always good fun. Wayne, I'm a funny nut job. If I can make people smile, that's my job done. Absolutely, bud. Fuzzy's on fire tonight. I'm still waiting. Wow, Fuzzy.
The next comment is the...
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Whatever you're into, man. You know, I'll take it as a compliment.
Whatever floats your boat, bud. Okay, right, guys, let's crack on. This is, like we say, our usual show where we talk all things geeky news. I'm going to start up. So it's worth saying we only do this once a month now, so some of the news is a little bit dated, but I thought some of this was important to talk about. I'm going to start off on a bit of a somber note, and we'll have the very sad passing of Chris.
Christopherson.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't know a great deal about Chris's body of work. but I am obviously very, very familiar with him from Blade, where he played Whistler, who was just stunning, absolutely stunning. Yeah, from what I've read, a great man, big loss to the industry. You guys familiar with his work? Efren, I presume, because he's a singer as well, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, I first knew him as a singer. On the right-hand side, you have the Highwaymen. So yeah, I knew him as a singer. I didn't really listen to his music, but I knew he was a singer. And then he got into acting afterwards, on Blade and other shows and movies and stuff like that. Yeah. I didn't know he passed away. It's sad.
Yeah, very sad. James, how about you?
Yeah, not super familiar with his music, but like you said, Whistler. Like he's one of the great kind of mentors in any kind of movie, I think. So it was very sad to hear this. I would love to see that character return.
Yeah.
And Star is Born as well with the Barbra Streisand 70s version.
Oh yeah, there you go.
From that as well.
Yeah.
The guys in the chat are mentioning Convoy. I forgot he was in Convoy. That's an amazing flick. Yeah, when he passed, I read a really interesting little kind of, these little clip news articles by Rob Lowe, who I'm a big fan of, and he was talking about being at a concert, and this guy served in the US military, and someone had come up to him and basically said something quite unpatriotic, and he took him to task, and just the back and forth was stunning, absolutely stunning. So yeah, a guy who I don't think tolerated shit from people and was particularly proud of his country. So yeah, big shame, sad to see his passing. This is fresh out today, guys. This is brand new. This is from James Gunn, and it's an image, or one of the first images, I guess, of Superman, but importantly of Krypto. I'd heard that Krypto was going to be in the movie. I absolutely love this. I absolutely love it. And the little blurb about it that James Gunn put was that Krypto is going to be very similar in personality to his own dog that he's got. So he's going to be a kind of a bit of a naughty scamp in trouble, kind of causing mischief and things like that. I'm excited to see. I am starting to get more and more excited about this movie. What about you guys?
He's shaggier than I was expecting. But
Superman or the dog?
I don't know. He looks very scruffy. Like it's not how I would have pictured like a live action. Krypto. But this photo just oozes charm to me. Like it's just Superman and his dog, and I think it's showing that the movie's embracing some of the kookier stuff from the Superman lore, which hasn't come to film. So that's exciting. I think it's a very James Gunny, heartfelt kind of picture, I think, as well. Like it does give you that kind of Rocket Raccoon or some of the characters from the Guardians movies kind of vibe to it as well. So I think people are gonna love. A lot of people will find Krypto the highlight of the movie. I'd be certain of that.
So I'm not sure, and I don't think it was said in the kind of the blurb. Is that a real dog or is it a CGI dog by the looks of it?
Well, Cosmo was a real dog, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks to me like that is a real dog, but then the stuff you're gonna have it do, you kind of have to go one way or the other fully. I think you can't really have a real dog and then just CG parts. So
what about you, Efren?
Oh, I love this. I just first time I heard about it. It just shows me. Hopefully, this movie won't be that serious like past DC movies. A little bit of levity, bringing in an animal there. I think it's a great move, and I'm getting excited to watch this movie also. Hopefully it's, James Gunn behind it. It'll be serious at points, but hopefully it'll have some of that Marvel, like levity in it. I think it's a good move.
Do we know who the villain is yet? I know Lex Luthor's in it, but I don't think he's going to be the main villain. Have they said who the main villain is?
They haven't really. Maxwell Lord seems to be featuring a lot of stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to use him in some way.
Do you know what? It's Sean Gunn though, and it's like, come on, don't make your brother the main villain of the first movie at the bat.
I
would like someone different.
I'd like Brainiac.
Brainiac.
Yeah, that'd be a good
Brainiac.
one. Yeah.
That would be.
You guys, does you guys or anybody that's watching the show right now know the origin of Krypto? Because I don't. How he came to Earth and everything. How he survived Krypton, or I don't know his history at all.
I swore it was retcon that he was in the pod with him.
Yeah,
to protect him, wasn't it?
In my head, I think he was in the pod, but I think I don't know if that's right or not.
Everybody knows. No.
We've got Andy joining that perfect segment because he's a big Superman fan. Can dogs breathe in space? I'm not.
Tony and dogs can, evidently.
Kryptonian, yeah. Luke. Not sure what that's in reference to, bud. Oh, sorry there. Look forward to this Superman. Is The Rock doing the voice of Krypto? Oh, God, yeah. That was awful, that cartoon, Super Pets. I don't know if you guys saw that. Yeah, it was good.
It's a shame.
We've got Ken. Nice to see you, Kenneth. Hope you're well. Got a bit CGI dog as dogs can't fly in space. Well thought out, Wayne. You are right. Yeah. You are right, bud. Krypto getting a lot of hate online, but I'm looking forward to seeing him. Me too. Me too. I think he's going to be a fun addition.
Everybody calm down.
Yeah, dogs can't breathe in space, Peter, so it's not real, obviously. Again, you're right, Chris. I feel silly now I do feel silly for pointing that out. I don't agree with any crypto. Bitcoin is the devil.
Well, like,
I see what you did there, Fuzzy. I see what you did.
Anyone who's negative about this, they're just still bitter about the Henry Cavill thing, I feel, for the most part. Like, and they don't want to change in tone. But like, this movie has to deliver. Like, yeah. James Gunn's out on his ass, I think, if this one is a bomb as well. Like, because the last 6 DC movies have been box office bombs. Yeah. Particularly one we're going to talk about later. But
yeah, Joker will have saved the cinema, man. Joker's made the money back.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah. Okay. Bit of Spider-Man news. I've stuck it all on one slide. We've got, again, with a lot of this, ladies and gents, it's from Marvel Updates and different various sources. So some of it is with a pinch of salt. That said, Marvel Updates has got a pretty good track record for getting stuff right. Apparently, Tom Holland signed on for a whole host of more Spider-Man films, 3 more, plus a whole host of additional MCU films. I think we kind of expected that, didn't we? Don't think that's new. Yeah. What they have said is that the title of the next Spider-Man film is going to be Spider-Man King in Black. They announced that a week or 2 back, and that was before the Venom 3 director came out and said Null isn't the Last Dance's main villain. I've also read something that said that basically, do you know that clip in the trailer we've seen of Null kind of sat on the throne? That's pretty much the kind of the teaser at the end of the movie.
Of course it is, because Sony always shows the things at the end of them.
Which makes kind of sense, doesn't it? It makes sense that we're not going to get Null really in this film. We're going to get him in a bigger MCU kind of, I would imagine.
I don't think it's... The part of this that I doubt is that the next Spider-Man movie is going to be a Null thing. I think, and I said that, I remember saying this years ago and people were scoffing at it, but that Null will be like the Spider-Verse Thanos, where you're going to have all the different, like Kraven or whatever they were doing at the time, you build up to a team-up movie with all the different Spider-Man, with Tobey Maguire coming back and Andrew Garfield coming back, and they take on Null. So I don't see 4 being that movie. Yeah. I think they'll want to do 1 or 2 first, so I could see that being the 6th Spider-Man movie, and they'll probably have Null in a bit by bit.
I hope so. I'd rather have a slow burn. Do you know what I mean? Like Thanos. What about you, Ephraim? What do you think?
I mean, I like that they're talking about him. Hopefully, they'll do it right. You know, and I think Fuzzy just put that it's going to be he's just going to be in the last 4 minutes.
That's generous. I would be shocked if he's in it more than 30 seconds.
I'm just glad that they're collaborating with Marvel Studios and Sony's not doing these as standalone films. You know, I wish they would do their other movies too, Marvel involved in it. You know, I'm not sure why they don't do them all involved.
Yeah, I agree.
Spider-Man characters. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm glad that Tom Holland is going to be in more movies and more Marvel movies. You know, I think he's a good actor. He's a perfect Spider-Man, and he's still young enough to portray Spider-Man too. Yeah, you know, do it now while he's still young.
The casting for Null's interesting, because as soon as we saw the trailer, I thought we'd had confirmed casting of, what do you call him, Norman
Reedus.
From Walking
Which
Dead.
I liked. I liked that idea.
Yeah, that worked for me. But then that kind of disappeared, and then all of a sudden we had Andy Serkis mentioned as playing Null, and I'm a bit lost off. I don't know who. I don't think we've had a formal announcement, have we?
We haven't, but Andy Serkis makes sense because he directed the second movie. So he's attached to that franchise already, so that makes sense. You know, for me, it is the thing of like, why you're casting from a small, like I don't like when Sony casts people that were in the MCU already. So they did it with Russell Crowe and Craven. That annoys me. There's another really good example. It looks like Rhys Ifans is playing a different character. Well, that's within Spider-Man.
I feel like I've gone dumb for a second. What's Russell Crowe playing in Marvel?
Zeus.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I try to block that shit all out of me.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. So like I would have liked, and I know it's almost certainly a CG character and it's a voice role only.
It's got to, if it's Andy Serkis, it's got to be, because the guy's a great actor, but he's not got the height or the stature to play Null. I don't think.
I'm sure it's going to be CGI though. It's not gonna. Has he been verified as Null?
No, we don't know.
Okay,
this could be bullshit, but like it makes sense to me because he's attached to that franchise already.
Okay.
But yeah, excited about that. More Spider-Man. I'm not excited about Venom 3. I will go and see it. I've not particularly enjoyed the last two movies.
So I was in the cinema the other day and a trailer come on for it, and I just felt nothing. Like I really just don't care at all about it. So I'll see it, but like nothing in it's gonna get me excited.
So I was at the cinema as well, James, and exactly the same. And for me, it was the bits that you're supposed to laugh at just made us go, oh, Jesus.
When he pisses on his feet and that kind of shit.
Just not what I want, really. Harry Potter news. We've got the date of 2026 for Harry Potter, the first kind of official poster coming out. That looks pretty interesting.
Is that the official?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that this came out.
Yeah, it came out last week, I think it was.
Deviation from the classic font, so...
Yeah.
Interesting.
The lightning bolt looks a bit different, doesn't it, I think? James, I know you're a big Potter fiend. Are you excited for this? Do you want more Harry Potter?
I have mixed feelings. Those movies are so iconic. I would have much rather, because I think doing a Harry Potter universe TV show is a great idea, but just going through the story of those books again, you know, like I would have been more excited about doing like a Cursed Child adaptation or something like that and bring those casts back.
That's still in the rumor mill, isn't it? Apparently.
But then you have two separate versions at the same time. You know, so that'd be a bit weird. I do think, because I've read the books as well. Like there's stuff in the books that they'll show. Will do, like Peeves is one of my favorite parts of the book, and he's not in the movies at all. So that'd be interesting. I just think it's going to be very difficult for the cast members of this. Like you have so many. I mean, like Snape. Good luck to whoever. Like it's probably going to be a Matt Smith or a David Tennant or someone like that. But like, good luck to the actor who plays that character. Like of trying to outdo. His name's escaping me now. Alan Rickman, yeah. Or Dumbledore, you know, or even Harry himself. Like it's a tough one.
Oh Jesus! And God was speaking to us there. What happened there? That was an echo. Yeah, no, I agree. I think you're right. I think I would have preferred something in the universe, but I think Warner Brothers or whoever have been burnt, haven't they? Because I don't think that the what you call it, Terrific Beasts.
Really, Fantastic Beasts, and I don't like them. They're turn off. But like I think there was options. You know, there was other things you could have done. Set just new cast of characters, new universe, what a new time period maybe or something.
Efren, what about yourself?
Is that Voldemort?
No, that's separate.
Okay, good.
Okay, but that's when I first seen that picture, I thought that was The Rock for a second.
It is The Rock. It is The Rock.
You're jumping ahead, Efren.
You're jumping ahead, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Okay,
calm down.
Fine. I get it now. Sorry, guys. We can cut that and go back. Okay. I thought they were right next to each other. I thought it was part of the movie. I go, don't tell me he's going to be in this show. I'm not going to watch that. Okay. Going back. I can't wait for this to come out. You know, I did read the books, and you know, it's going to be a series. So I think they're going to really get more delve into each of the characters individually instead of it being just a 2 or 3 hour movie. So it doesn't say in 2020. Oh wow, 2026. Dang.
So that's starting in 2026.
Yeah,
and probably 2 years between, like a year to 2 between seasons. Yeah. And they're doing 7 seasons of it.
They'll do the full 7 seasons. Yeah.
So it'll be 2036 when the show ends.
I think these guys are going to have, the actors are going to have one of their hands tied behind their back, because they're going to be compared to so much to the original actors. I think they're going to say they don't compare to the original show, the original movies.
The other thing I think is like people are so familiar with this story and the ins and outs of the story. Like, how is the show going to surprise? Like, will you not just get like 4 or 5 episodes in and go, well, I know where this goes and I know what's happening. So why?
I mean, you could say that, I guess, with a lot of. I mean, how many times have we had some of the classic Shakespeare plays redone? Or, I mean, I'll go and see Murder on the Orient Express and things like that, even though I know the outcome of the story. Do you know what I mean? I think different takes on it, I think.
It's such a generational series. I'm talking about the books. Millions and millions of people have read it now. Even kids can still read it. So, and they've watched the original movies. So there's going to be that comparison going back and forth.
Yeah.
And I wish that wouldn't happen. I'm going to try to go in. I'm not going to try to read any reviews or anything when it comes out. Just watch it and enjoy it.
I also like, no pun intended, but those movies have such a magic to them.
Yes.
Like,
they do.
How is the show going to capture
brilliant
that
casting
as well?
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it. I changed my mind.
Oh, we're boycotting that. I'm just jumping to the chat here because I'm getting loads of stick. Everybody's agreeing with you from the slides. Andy's giving us a bit of stick here. Poor slide, edit and try harder. I do apologise. Fuzzy's saying, he's cracking on age when he writes an itinerary for himself. I shouldn't have shown that, Fuzzy. I put that on by mistake. That's our London trip itinerary. That's all the shows.
Hang on, now we can get doxed now. You're showing people our hotels and everything and the times we arrive.
All our fans are going to start hounding us when we're at hotels,
They'll be surrounding the hotel. Fuzzy's saying here, JK does herself no favours these days. You're absolutely right. Do you know what? At the start of all of this stuff, I kind of thought, she's just defending women's rights and she's got some good points. But it's just got more and more unhinged, and she just doesn't help herself at all. She just needs to back away from friggin' X, I think. Luke saying JK will be licking her lips with the incoming paycheck.
Do with the show? Is she going to be involved in the show at all?
I'm sure
she's an executive producer or something on it. So she is attached, and I think that's potentially another issue the show's going to have. Like, people were, the Harry Potter can be kind of a toxic kind of thing now. Like, there's people, streamers who are playing the game, getting like aggressive people in the chats and stuff. So like, that's potentially another hurdle the show's going to have. So like, it's fighting an uphill battle anyway.
Wayne, I'm a 6:30 poo. I'm not a 10 a.m. That's far too long. I would pop by then. JK is a hateful person. It's sad that someone so wealthy can't just chill out and live her own life. Absolutely, Alex. Absolutely. She's gone kind of crazy lady on Twitter, hasn't she? She's crackers. Anyway, going back to this. These poorly edited slides, I do apologise. This is fan casting of Dwayne The Rock as Apocalypse. So loads of people have been kind of saying that they would like to see him in the new X-Men franchise, and it just got us to thinking. We are obviously getting the X-Men. We've heard lots of rumblings and rumours that Wolverine's not going to be in it. So I wanted to know from you guys, which team do you want to see? Who do you want in your new movie lineup for X characters? I'll start off. I'm going dead simple. I just want the original. I want to go back to the start of the X-Men and start with the core 5 and Prof X. I love Wolverine and Colossus and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I think there's something special about the OG X-Men to start with. What about you, Ephraim? We'll start with you.
I agree. I would like to see the original X-Men, but unfortunately, we know the original X-Men. We've known them, for decades. But people who go to the movies may not have a history with the original X-Men, and movies are trying to make a profit. So they may put in one or two characters who are more popular. I know you said Wolverine may not be in it, but I'm sure they're thinking about putting Wolverine in it.
He's the biggest selling X-Man.
Yeah, I mean, they would have to, and maybe, I don't know, I know everybody's, stuck on Hugh Jackman to be Wolverine, but if they had another actor, as long as it's portrayed correctly, I'm okay with that, because he can't be Wolverine forever,
If you could pick one X-Man or X-person to be in the new lineup, who's a solid, got to be in there, who is it?
Mine would be Beast. I mean, he's established a little bit in the movies, by Kelsey Grammer, and he portrays him again. I would like to see Beast. I like that character. His human form. I like to see him in a human form for some reason. I always like him in human form,
Okay, cool stuff. James, how about you?
Well, like for the team, I would be shocked if we didn't get effectively the X-Men 97 lineup. I think it's going to be that. I think they're really going to hone in on characters that the other movies haven't explored. So we've already had multiple versions of Cyclops and Jean Grey and Storm and stuff. So they'll be there, I'm sure. But like, I think Jubilee, 100% Rogue. I think Rogue is going to be like front and center. I think they'll do the Gambit romance. That'll be a big focus of it as well. So like that'd be my assumption anyway.
Gambit's
Personally, I want
really
like
interesting
Iceman.
one.
I like Iceman though.
Yeah.
So what are you saying?
A proper iced up version of Iceman, but I'd like to see the Snowman version from the start. That would be pretty cool and see his powers refined. I was seeing, I think Gambit's an interesting character. He was like super popular for a good period, and then he just kind of disappeared and died off. He's not as popular in the comics anymore. I don't really think.
He's had a bit of a resurgence now. I think the Channing Tatum thing really, people really dug that. So I wouldn't be surprised if that version, not for the MCU, but we see that version in a crossover thing again.
I don't think I could carry a full movie with Channing as Gambit mind in that.
But that was an exaggerated version for comedic effect. Like I don't think that. I think he would have played it a bit more subtly in an actual Gambit thing. You know.
Yeah.
I like to see Magic.
Yeah.
The good actress. The actress who played it in the New Mutants movie, Anna Taylor, I think her name was.
Taylor-Joy,
Yeah.
I think you know what? I think that New Mutants movie gets a lot of hate, but it's actually not a bad
I
film.
liked it.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad flick at all, really. CJ's saying here, JK's got the right to say what she wants with her IP, whether people like it or not. Maybe it might not be the best business decision, but she's still got the right to. Yeah, certainly, I don't think. Well, I'm saying that she's still raking the money in, isn't it? I don't think it's helped her in terms of how the public perceive her anymore.
Does she care?
Yeah. When are you going to see the Y and Z, man? Yeah. Luke, I want Rogue, you dirty devil.
I want her too.
Front and center, man. She's gonna be the star, I think.
I mean, I like the character. I would like to see if we're going to get a crossover with the MCU. If we're going to incorporate the X-Men into the MCU, give with a Rogue story where she starts off as just the Absorber, and then at some point she'll absorb Carol Danvers' powers. That would be an interesting. That would lead to the conflict between X-Men and Avengers. You can A versus X. Gambit's interesting for 20 minutes, 15 at most, says Andy. Yeah. I would love to see the Archangel saga played out in the big screen. That would be incredible. Watch Angel lose his wings and then go to Archangel in a better way than we got in X-Men Apocalypse, because that was just rushed. X-Men's Charge. Oh, oof, wow. I love the one issue where Prefix explains how Iceman has the potential to be the most dangerous mutant on the planet. How he could freeze the entire planet. Yeah, I like Iceman as well. I think that's a great pick, James. I really do think it's a good one. Fuzzy, the X-villains are more interesting. Give us Mr. Sinister. I agree, and I think, sadly, it's a bit like the Superman villains. We seem to have... Every film's got to have Magneto in it. Do you know what I mean? There's such a wealth of interesting characters out there that you could tap into. Give us some more of those on the screen.
I would imagine Mr. Sinister be the first villain for the first X-Men thing, because it's the one we haven't gotten to. People don't know, really. Yeah.
I never really got behind Bishop, if I'm honest. I just found him a bit dull. Psylocke would be very cool. A bit of Betsy Braddock. That would be very cool. I'd like that. Can we have a dupe? No, you can't. You can't have a dupe. I can't abide dupe.
What's dupe?
No. Oh, God. Dupe was from Ecstatics, and he's basically he's like a
green blobish character.
Yeah. He's a potato with arms, James.
Yeah.
A green potato with arms.
So, like you.
Wow. Wow. How dare you? How dare you?
Our schedule, make sure you check out take James out of our schedule.
My flight.
Badrock, is that not her name? Betsy Badrock? Brian Badrock?
Braddock,
is it? Oh, right.
Did you say Badrock?
Badrock, I thought that's how you pronounce it.
I thought you said Braddock.
I think Badrock was an image.
Roll the tape. Rewind.
A what?
We'll see.
Check the tape. A floating green maggot.
Yeah.
Dupe rules.
Dupe.
This is interesting. So this is news that Dynamic Duo, we're getting an animated movie of Robin and Red Hood. So I think that could be pretty cool. I quite like DC animation, particularly like these two characters. Is this something that you guys are interested in?
I think this is them breaking into the Spider-Verse kind of area. So that element, like, didn't they say in it, it's like a mix of 2D animation, CG, puppetry. So that's curious how that's gonna work. Like, if that'll be kind of like the backgrounds, some of the backgrounds, the way they move will be like puppets or something. So that really intrigues me. So I'm excited in that regard. It'll probably be a very stylish, Like it's not going to be like your Under the Red Hood kind of animated film. I think it's going to be like really unique look to it. So that has me interested. I'm curious though, is it going to be like Nightwing, Red Hood, or?
So it's interesting. So all the imagery that they've put out is Nightwing and Red Hood, but it describes it in the write-up as Robin and Red Hood. So I'm presuming it's Dick Grayson, but
it wouldn't make sense to have, well, he wouldn't be Robin anymore because he became Nightwing and then Jason became Robin. So I don't know.
Efren, is something that's interesting to you?
Yeah, first thing I heard about it, I'd watch. I mean, DC and Warner Brothers in particular, they always do good animated movies, So I would look forward to watching this. Is it going to be a series or just a movie?
This is a theatrical
animated.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So this is their Mutant Mayhem Into the Spider-Verse kind of.
Oh, wow! Then definitely I'm going to watch it. Yeah. Hopefully they'll do a good job at it. Yeah, good. And I love street level heroes. So. Yeah. Probably it's a good plot.
No, Andy, it's not two different sides. This is the official DC slide. How dare you? Alex is saying maybe an unpopular opinion, but I much prefer Magneto as a good guy when he runs the school in the 80s. When he was on Utopia co-leading the team, he's much more nuanced and complex that way.
I did like in '97 when he was like in charge. Like I was sad that he turned back. Do you know what I mean? Like so. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just struggle sometimes with this ongoing thing where a villain gets popular and people like him in the comics because he's got a good character. So and
they can't be a villain
good
anymore.
Guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, so Juggernaut's on the X-Men at the moment. It's like, really, why? And Sandman's a difficult one. He's a complex character, I guess. But we'll have Norman Osborn as a goodie in the Spider-Man books, and it's like, really? I guess Venom to an extent, but yeah, I don't know. Leading from the animated show, we've now had word that we are going to get the Superman movie. We're going to get Supergirl, and that's going to lead directly into a live action Titans show. Now this has got us excited. I'm getting lots of feedback, guys. I don't know if that's just me. But the Titans show featuring the Flash, Nightwing, Donna Troy, all that lot. I think this could be pretty darn spectacular. I'd really like to see this on the big screen. Is this a team you guys are happy to see, or are you familiar with them?
This is going to be directed. It's going to be under James Gunn umbrella. Correct?
Yeah. Okay. Well, unless you get sacked after Superman.
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to it.
Entirely possible as well.
So. As long as they make, and I'm talking about Marvel, DC, Warner Brothers, whomever, as long as they make good movies that people want to see, then I'm all for it. And I've always liked the Titans. I mean, I liked them when they, George Perez's iteration when he drew them back in the 80s, and I look forward to it. Hopefully it's and hopefully they get good actors too.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see this iteration of some of these characters on screen because the Titans era is the one that I love.
It's an interesting because we did just have a Titans show.
Yeah,
that went for 4 seasons. So how's this going to distinguish? I've heard it's good. How is it going to distinguish from that? Like I know it's probably going to look better. Like this will be a Max series, like a high quality, high budget.
This is a movie, I believe.
Oh, it's a movie. Oh, sorry, I thought it was a show.
Yeah,
oh, okay. Oh, then I'm a bit more interested then. I do like a lot of I'm a big fan of the cartoon Teen Titans and I even like Teen Titans Go. So I like those characters. So I like to see them in the movie. I'm up for that.
This one's got me more excited than a lot of the other stuff that's been announced by James Gunn, I have to say. I'm a big fan of Flash, obviously, in Nightwing in particular. So yeah, I think this could be very, very cool. Alex is saying when Magneto was created, he wasn't yet fleshed out as having been in the camps, etc. I find once Claremont wrote him, he became much more sympathetic. Yeah, I agree with that. When you see all the backstory of the kind of the camps and things, it's very, very interesting. Wayne is saying, I love Teen Titans, my favourite DC group. Yeah, one of my favourites as well, I think. Fuzzy, when asked about things being cancelled, James Gunn said if the scripts aren't good enough, they won't go ahead. They won't push subpar stories like always previously done.
Is that in reference to things that have been announced already, though?
Well, I would imagine so, because a lot of these aren't fleshed out yet. So if they end up getting the script and it's crap.
But back when these movies were announced and these shows, my hesitancy was, I don't know if we'll even see these. So if he starts cancelling shit, I'm going to be annoyed. If my Swamp Thing show or movie doesn't happen, I'm going to be pissed off about that.
But we're going to talk about it in a second, but are you happy that you saw Joker 2, or would you have been happier if James Gunn had had the balls and pulled it?
Yeah, fair point. Okay, but then again, like people, you know, if 3 months ago or before the trailer came out, or like it was filmed and then cancelled, I'd have been furious about it. You know, so like Batgirl, like same thing with Batgirl, where like people want to see that movie. That movie might be shit. I think it should. I still want to see it. Yeah, I do. Brendan Fraser's Firefly, Michael Keaton.
I just wanted to quickly mention this. Our good friend Kev Wells, who's an incredible artist. He's just done a Kickstarter, and he did his little commission there of a zombified Thor, which I absolutely love. I think it's a stunning piece. He's going to be at Thought Bubble, so if you want to hit Kev up to do some commissions for you, drop him a line on Instagram. That's his details there, and I'm sure he'll pull something together for you. He's incredibly cheap for the quality of his work.
He also did our One Good Scare logo.
He certainly did.
So yeah,
he certainly did.
Fantastic.
So yeah, well worth checking out. Okay, let's fight, Mr. Keith.
Oh, this is gonna get heated. You've seen this, yeah? Has everyone seen it?
No, I've never even seen the first one.
Okay. You know, we doing spoilers?
Go ahead, talk about it. I mean, I heard people saying it was a bad movie, and yeah.
So this is Joker. I cannot see. Is it Foie Folie à yeah, pretentious shite. Joker number 2. I liked this. So I know that everybody thinks it's cack, and I know it. I watched a show last night where it split the panel. Some people thought it was the worst thing that I've ever seen. Some people thought it was the best thing they'd ever seen. I went in with low expectations because I didn't particularly love the first Joker like other people seem to. I thought it was a good movie and I thought it was canny, but some people came out thinking it was like a masterpiece. That never hit for me for some reason. So I think probably my expectations were lower going into this, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the musical elements worked well. It kept us entertained. It's not a great film. There are some bits that I could have done without. I could have certainly done without the Foghorn Leghorn impression at the end. I don't know what the shit that was all about. But that scene was one of my favourite in the movie. If you're just getting rid of that stupid accent. I loved the bit with the guy on the stand crying and stuff like that. I liked the courtroom element. I liked the asylum element. Performances were great. And lots of people will tell you the ending was shite. I thought the ending was great as well. And it worked for what I interpreted the story to be. I would say it's a good film, but not a great film. James, tell us why I'm wrong.
I was literally about to say I'm going to explain to you, and I'll speak very slowly, and so that you can understand. This movie's terrible. So I get what it's trying to like. This movie is sort of a rejection of the first movie, and it's like a rejection of what people like about the first movie, purposely. Like it is. This is like a middle finger to the people who like saw the first movie and said, "Oh, I want this Joker to be Robert Pattinson's Joker. I want to see him fight Batman." And like when they announced the sequel, like you would assume it would be like Joker Harley on a rampage kind of thing, and that's just not what the movie is at all. Like Joker is barely in this movie at all.
I mean, that's bollocks.
What do you mean?
How can you say he's not in the movie? He's in practically every scene.
Joker.
Sorry.
Arthur Fleck is in
Fleck.
every scene. Joker. Yeah. There is no point in the movie at all where he has the makeup and green hair. That isn't a dream sequence. And there's one scene where he has the makeup on.
Does he not wear the makeup when he goes into the court scene?
He wears the makeup, but he doesn't dye his hair green or anything. So it's like, he's half-assed in it. Like, so like I for me, when it was announced as a musical, I was excited about that. Like, I thought that could be really cool. And then the jukebox musical, oh, okay. But, like, in the movie, I think you have scenes that are going somewhere and they're interesting. And then they just start singing. And then, like, there's, like, music coming in the back. And sometimes it's, like, a big elaborate dream sequence kind of dance number. And other times it's just them singing. Like that's really happening, you know? I just thought it took me out of the movie. I felt like so making it a musical, I think, was a mistake. But I just don't like where the story went. I really didn't. I think like there's good stuff in. I think Brendan Gleeson is great. I think like the Arkham scenes are interesting. The courtroom stuff, I just feel like the movie wasn't really that interesting with the idea it's asking. Like, we know he's not going to talk his way out of this, so like, what's the point of this? You know, the whole movie is making Arthur Fleck a loser who's not really the Joker, and like, he sucks. You know, he's bad at everything. It's just this
Wait a
movie
minute.
annoyed me.
You just said he's not really the Joker. So is he the Joker or is he not the Joker in this
He's
movie?
not the Joker.
He's not the Batman Joker.
No.
So
not at all.
He's the inspiration. The way I took it was, and I think personally, I think it's wrong to say he's not the Joker because he's one person. That's the entire point of the movie. Everybody's trying to say, "Oh, you've got a split personality," and all that. He hasn't. He's making it up. He does what he does because he's crazy, or because he wants to inflict that violence on people, and he goes along with the notion of dual personalities. But by the end, he has that breakdown, that revelation. That, do you know what? Fuck you. It's just me. I'm not.
Yeah, I believe the line. Yeah. There is no Joker.
Yeah, I'm not. Like,
this is all me that's doing
anymore.
This.
You know. And what happens at the end, Efren, is spoilers for anybody that is going to see it. What happens at the end? The entire 2 movies have built up this narrative of he's inspiring the crowds. People are trying to emulate him and things like that. You see the people in the masks and stuff. By the end of the movie, he's murdered by someone who's kind of obsessed with him. And you see the guy carving his face up at the end to the iconic smile. So for me, that's the birth of that universe's, or one of that universe's Jokers.
So this person here dies at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. But then, like, you've already done your Harley Quinn thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And like, we have in the first movie, I think it's a really beautiful character arc of this character finding who he is. He is this like agent of chaos kind of thing, and he embraces that. And like, you have the last scene of the movie where he's there like laughing, do you want to hear a joke? And then he kills the nurse one and he walks off. Like, I wanted the movie to pick up from that. Whereas this just like ignores that even happens almost in a way. And the character regresses back to kind of the beginning of that movie again, you know? So it feels like you've undone your character arc. You've kind of retconned the last movie. Yeah. For what? For this, like, you know?
It's certainly split the crowd, I think it's fair to say, and I think it's bombed at the box office. Efren, I really would recommend, I mean, this is coming out in digital in 3 weeks' time, so that tells you a lot. Efren, I really would recommend watching them both. But for me, the first film, I walked away from the first film saying this was a good film, but it's not a Joker film, it's not a Batman film. So I think these films aren't really about the Joker for me. It's about mental health, and it's about someone's kind of journey into madness. But it is an interesting flick, I guess, from my point of view. It's worth watching, I think.
So in the first movie, was he Joker, or did they say that he was a Joker?
He's the Joker.
So I thought you said he wasn't the Joker.
In this, he is in the first movie, and then this one says he's not really. So it's a retcon, effectively. They've changed their mind. They stopped his character arc and went back on it. So that's the thing that bothers me. So I like the first movie. To me, is a masterpiece. Like, I love that movie. 10 out of 10, stunning. This makes that movie worse. So I would you're right. I would rather this movie not exist. I think like, when they announced the sequel, I was really excited at all the potential of it, and just this isn't what anyone wanted.
Sometimes I think the production companies, they overthink, and then it just goes down to.
I think this was just 2 or 3 people not put in check, and were just allowed to run wild with Gaga and Phoenix. Just don't do what they wanted to. You know?
Did you think that he was sexually abused at one point in the film?
Yes.
See, I don't know that either.
The general consensus is that that's what happens in that scene. Like, some people say implied, but I think it's pretty overt that he gets like.
I don't think it's overt. How is it overt?
What?
How is it overt?
Because they like strip his clothes off, and then the next scene when they're dragging him back to his cell, he's clothed again. So why did they take his clothes off?
He's not clothed again, is he? He's still in his undies. I guess.
Yeah, but he's in his undies, and they say take his undies off, like take his clothes off.
If you rags off him. Yeah, but that's what they do in prisons when they're going to beat people and things like that, isn't it? If you saw the guards touch their own belts or pants or something along those lines, I would have said, yeah, fair enough. But they don't. They literally strip him, throw him to the ground, and then it ends.
Why is he so horrified in the next scene then?
because he's been beaten to shit.
This guy's gotten beaten before. Like that's not a big deal.
I don't know. I think it's an interesting movie, and I would recommend checking it out. Andy's saying Joker 1 was a masterpiece. Stop your nonsense. Yeah, I'm not.
I was there. There are things. Good things. And I think like Gaga's performance is good. There's one musical number in the courtroom where he kind of does more Joker-y stuff that I really enjoyed. But I found a lot of it cringe. And that's about the worst you can get is when I'm cringe. Like I was cringing in the courtroom scene when he does the Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, Foghorn. I'll agree with
horrendous, absolutely horrendous.
Bizarre decision to take.
Yeah, so yeah, it's mixed.
Which is a shame because it's a beautiful scene actually. The other guy,
the Gary Puddles thing, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I thought that was good. It was just it started very strangely.
But Dan, for me, I think this movie will get a lot of love in 10 years' time. It's very misunderstood. Right now, I'm not sure if I liked it or not. Sorry, that probably doesn't make much sense. No, it makes perfect sense, mate. It makes perfect sense.
Do you know what? I came out of it saying it was okay, and then as time went on, I just I've grown worse and worse on it.
Have you watched reviews about it?
I'd seen a number, so going in, I had lowered my expectations, and even then, I was surprised how much I didn't like it. Since then, I've watched some videos, people analyzing it and stuff, but for me, it's just not what I wanted. From it. And I just don't think what they gave us is good enough to not give us what we wanted in the first place.
Personally, I hated the Joker sequel, but Phillips did make it clear from the start in numerous interviews and articles after the original that Phoenix wasn't the Batman Joker. That's what I took from it personally. This Joker just wasn't psychotic enough. I'd say it was an inspiration for the real Joker. Again, that's exactly what I took from it. SM. That's how I walked away thinking this was never a story about the Joker, our Joker. This was a story about whoever inspired the Joker. What's it like to be able to get to the cinema? Me and James love a trip to the cinema. I think, do you know what? This is the thing about this particular movie that, James, most of the time, we've had the odd one, but most of the time, we see pretty much eye to eye in movies. But a film like this is really interesting in that you can get such different views on it and different analysis of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it is an interesting movie in that regard. For me, this is very much the same as the first Joker film. I don't count this almost as a DC movie. Do you know what I mean? This isn't comic book movie. This is... I think I enjoy it more because I'm not thinking this is Batman, Joker and all the rest of it. The first one was silly for me for trying to include the Waynes in it. And then this one does a similar thing with Harvey Dent. And even Harley Quinn, I think, But I would still love the first one if it had nothing. If it was just it wasn't even a Joker movie. If it was just like another movie, like about mental health,
no attachment to IPs or anything, I would love that movie still. Yeah. Whereas this, I feel like is nothing without the IPs in it, and even then, they're not really doing anything with that. Did you like the musical elements of it?
Sorry, CJ, I have zero interest watching this. I was content with the first one.
Yeah, and Joanne, just don't watch it. I don't think you're gonna.
Yeah, you're not gonna miss anything. I don't think if you don't watch it. I went into this because I like musicals, but I'm not a fan of musicals kind of shoved into films, if you know what I mean. I went into this fully expecting to hate the musical elements. I didn't find them disjointing at all, and I enjoyed every single one.
I think the musical element amplifies the things I don't like in it. So I feel like if it wasn't a musical, I maybe would accept it a bit more. It has had, I believe, an 83% drop in its second week, which I think is a record. I think it's the biggest second week drop ever for a film.
I mean, just to put it in comparison, and this should never be the case, I guess I would argue, in terms of schlock horror. Terrifier 3, which is just basically kind of violence porn, is absolutely trousted at the box office. Shite all over it, which is just for me.
Put this in perspective, right? The first movie made over $1 billion, and this one is on 160-ish.
Yeah.
500 million break-even point. This is a disaster, a colossal disaster. I think that Warner Bros. Just flushed money down the toilet here.
I haven't seen it, but hearing your conversations going back and forth, I think it's a disservice to any fans out there that are real Joker fans or even Batman lore. From what you just told me, it's not even they retcon that he's not really the Joker. Why would they go down that route?
That is very much on purpose. Efren, I think it is like a rejection of fan service, and it's like because people came out of the first one loving Joker and going, yeah, fucking this guy rules, and there's characters in the movie that reflect that, like the disenfranchised in Gotham. So this movie is like a rejection of why do you idolize this man? He's a loser, you know. And I think that's the point of the movie, which is an interesting idea, but I just don't think the movie's effective at doing that.
So for me, and I'm going to get political here, so I do apologize, particularly to any Americans in the chat. This has got, the reason I probably like this is, for me, it feels like we're looking at politics of today. You've got a guy who the crowd absolutely adore for no reason, because he's a psycho, who are dressing up as him, supporting him, following him everywhere he goes, going, yeah, he's great. Yeah. And then by the end, the Emperor's clothes fall off and he says, actually, guys, I'm just a fuckwit. I'm nothing. Do you know what I mean? And it's that twist point where people suddenly go, hang on a minute, why are we following this guy? He's just a worthless piece of shit. And they back off. Do you know what I mean? And that's the element of the story I found really interesting. It's really sad at the end because you see this guy whose character, his persona is being elevated, and then everybody, including Harley Quinn, just walk away from him because actually you're not as interesting when you.
He can't deliver on it. He has these high expectations put on him, and he can't be the person that people.
They
want
were interested in the performance,
of
the
the Joker.
Yeah,
whereas
and when he's him, nobody cares, and that's heartbreaking to him, you know. And I quite like that story. Like I say, it didn't have to be a Batman story or a DC story. That's just an interesting story of mental health for me. We've got lots of comments here about this. If you like the long Halloween story, stick with the Batman. Yeah, Wayne's asking about the Batman in the chat. The songs barely made sense for the plot. It was just random singing.
Yeah, I you know, I can't even remember. Do you know when you see a good musical, you're humming a part of it. I can't even remember any of the songs really.
That's Entertainment is the only one that really stuck with us. I like that one. That's Entertainment.
You say that now, and I can't even remember what scene that is in the film. You know what I mean?
Throughout the movie, it was used repeatedly. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's move away from Joker. I'll quickly skirt over these slides because I'll not be able to pronounce anybody's names. We've got some rumoured casting on the first two images there, and then we've got some confirmed casting on the last image. This is the chap from Blue Beetle, isn't it? Who's now been apparently talked about.
I think this is bullshit.
I don't.
I think those two were bullshit.
I'm not sure I buy that one because I'm sure there was a lot of stuff from James Gunn.
He's sticking around.
Saying that he was sticking around.
He's carrying over, I think. Yeah.
I'm not sure about that one. I would like it if he was, mind. I think it would be good. Logan Kim, I'm being honest, I have to say I don't know who he is. I've never heard of him. But Amadeus Cho has been mentioned repeatedly over the last few years is coming into the MCU. So I hope that pans out, whoever it may be. And then we've got this chap again, who I'm not familiar with, officially cast as Jon Stewart in the DC Studios Green Lantern. I'm getting more and more excited for this Green Lantern show. I really am.
Well, they described it as True Detective in space, and I'm like, that sounds fucking awesome. And like, yeah, they're space cops, so that's great. I'm excited for that.
And I love the guy who's going to be playing Hal Jordan,
Carl Chandler.
I think some great casting. Okay, chaps, moving on from that, we've got some images from Batman. Not Batman, sorry, Spider-Man Noir. First images of the main man himself on set. What are you thinking about this show?
I didn't even know it was going to be a show, to be honest with you. Is Sony producing it or Marvel?
Sony and Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime. I just find it weird that he's doing this in live, because it's not. I don't believe it's any attachment to. He's not playing the version that he plays in Into the Spider-Verse, I think.
No.
And if you read Spider-Man Noir, he is like 18, 20-year-old Peter Parker. So like, it's strange that Nick Cage is playing an older version of Spider-Man. But like, I'm very curious about it. Like, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I think it could, like, if it's very stylish, if it's got like, that noir vibes to it, the music, and like, if it's like partially in black and white, if it has like a Sin City look to it, I think that could be really cool,
And I want an over-the-top Nick Cage performance. I think he needs to ham it up in this, in terms of the kind of the noir kind of side of things. I think this could be great.
That's Nick Cage.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Nicolas Cage is going to be playing the actor. It's going to be playing Spider-Man Noir.
Spider-Man Noir. Yeah.
Okay, he's too old. Sorry, he's too old for this play.
But that's tying into the story, though. He is going to be playing like a beaten down, possibly retired, disenfranchised like this.
I wonder if we've got him kind of retired from being Spider-Man, and by the end of the series he goes back into the costume or something, you know?
I hope they don't do a fucking last episode he puts the mask on shit, though. I hate that. I hate it. Like Daredevil did it. That annoys me. I want him as Spidey throughout the whole thing. Like,
Interesting.
It's Nick Cage. I'm fully in. So
it's Nick Cage as Spider-Man in a show. Like, that's just kind of crazy to talk about, isn't it? So, like,
I mean, I remember we're talking about this ages and ages ago. I think when he was in the first animated movie, and I said something along the lines of, "Could you imagine if we got him, in live action?" And we're like, never.
No,
you'll never get
I would have said this would never have happened. Yeah. So
superb. Kevin is saying Spider-Man Noir was 25 to 29 during World War II. Surely that makes Nick Cage too young. Yeah. Of all the Spider-Men, I do feel like Noir is the one that can be older.
Yeah, put the grizzled kind of like, smoking, sick of all this shit. Yeah, Spidey. Yeah, that could be cool.
Do you think Nicolas Cage can carry a show?
How dare
Nicolas Cage can do anything he puts his mind to.
I just haven't seen him in too good in recent movies. I haven't just seen him being like a leading type actor. I'm sorry, I just don't see it.
Has he ever been in a movie and not been the lead?
Has he never been in a movie and not been sensational? No matter how crap the movie is, it's Nick Cage. He's a god amongst men.
It's like, this counterpoint. I gotta, one of us have to throw that in there every now and then. Well, curious, see who eats their words when this show comes out.
This could be awful. Like, this could be absolutely. I can imagine this being like Madam Web level bad. But it'll still be enjoyable because Nick Cage is in it. I love Spider-Man Noir, though. I'm really rooting for this. I really hope this is good.
Soup Party.
What?
Hey guys, there's some dude on YouTube called JoyC14, don't know who that is, who said he wants to beat you guys up. Not sure why. Okay, I mean, he would have a hard job because I am built like a sumo wrestler.
We're hard ninja,
and Keegan's Irish, so he's screwed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I just got a couple of Guinness. I'm like Popeye.
Yeah,
I'll be there. Do you think that's true? Is there someone who's shit talking us? Imagine that.
I don't know who.
I'd be proud.
That means we've made it.
Exactly.
Looks like we've made it. But you saying send him around. Yeah. Okay, moving on, guys. Moving on. I went to see this last night. This is Transformers 1. I went into this. Efren, I'm just going to mute you because you've got lots of feedback. But when you want to speak, just unmute, bud. I went in to see this a little bit negative because I wasn't a big fan of the trailers. I thought the trailers were pretty ropey, to be honest, too much humor. I have to be honest, the first 25-30 minutes or so I was thinking it's all right, but it's still not doing it really for us. But then it kicks into high drive and I just absolutely loved it. The end of it, the last 3/4 of an hour, absolutely phenomenal. I'm a massive fan of Peter Cullen, the voice of Prime, as you know, and it was, again, going into this a little bit negative because we didn't have him as Prime. We had Chris Hemsworth, but actually by halfway through, Chris Hemsworth's voice was just Prime's voice. I didn't really notice it anymore. The ending is brilliant. I got quite emotional at points during it. Interested to know if anybody in the chat has seen it and what you guys thought of it. I thought it was superb, absolutely superb. Excited to see what happens next in this universe. Either of you guys keen to see this one?
I am. I just haven't had a chance to yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. I've heard nothing but mostly great things about it. I had one spoiler, but that almost made me more interested of like, how do we get to this point? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it looks really cool. How would you put this in comparison with like a Spider-Verse or a Mutant Mayhem?
That's a really hard one because out of those franchises, Transformers is where my heart is. Do you know what I mean? So I always give this a little bit of a an uplift, I guess. If I'm being really honest, it's a great story. I thoroughly enjoyed the end in particular, but I probably enjoyed Mutant Mayhem more. I like the animation style of Mutant Mayhem more. Right. It's a great film. It really is a great film, and it is well worth. If you get the opportunity, it is well worth checking out. What about you, Efren?
I am now. I'm hearing you say that you liked it, but I probably will wait until it comes to home, digital at home. I won't go into the movie theater. But that picture right there looks awesome. That snapshot right there.
Yeah, there's a great scene at the end, and it's a. I mean, I know the backstory to the Transformers in some regards, but it's lovely seeing it on screen, and it is quite heart wrenching. By the end, it is a good story, I think. Just see what the chat is saying. The trailers were dirt worst, really did the movie dirty. I absolutely agree, Von Hoot. I think the trailers 100% focused on the humor, the comedy and the silliness of it. And there is that in it, mind. There is that in it, but there's so much more of it than that. Wayne saying he agrees with me, same as you, Pete. Von Hoot. If I was being really picky, I'd say D16 needed to be more against the class system at the start, but otherwise it's phenomenal. Yes, I did roll a tear. Yeah, it's interesting, Von Hoot, because D16, he changes quite quickly. So I would have liked to have seen D16's Megatron, guys. I would have liked to have seen some hints earlier on in his personality, because it did feel a bit of a jolt in terms of all of a sudden. In fact, my wife who saw it with us just assumed that happened because of the cog that was put in his chest, that it wasn't really his personality. But yeah, it was an interesting change. This has to surprise the makers, because I haven't seen a bad word about it, and I didn't even know it was out. I've seen no promotion. It's well worth checking out, Fuzzy. Again, I think I'll probably agree with Efren. If you're not a massive Transformers fan, there's no need to rush to the cinema to see it. Catch it when it comes out on Blu-ray or whatever. It is a good one. Comes out on Blu-ray in December, so I think streaming too. Yeah, I'll definitely be picking this up on Steelbook. With all the live action of the Transformers, didn't make sense for it to be animated. I agree with that, but as someone who struggles with the animated Transformer movies, I far preferred this. I would love this as a live action movie, but for some reason, for me, this got the personalities of the Transformers right, whereas the live action ones just seem to crap all over Prime at every opportunity, which I just don't get.
Prime is horrendous in the...
Oh, he's awful. He's just awful.
I'll kill you.
It's like, I'll kill you. It just makes no sense. Whereas this one was true to what I envisage Prime as,
I really do like how some franchises have been using animation, like giving it a style. Like Spider-Verse, like Mutant Mayhem, this now. I would like to see more franchises take this route, like as an addition to like doing live action stuff. I think it's really cool. Yeah.
And the animation's great in this, to be honest. How does it compare to the 80s classic? It's a very similar theme. I mean, the problem is, Luke, to be honest, when you go back and watch some of those original cartoons, the struggle to hold up a little bit. I went to the cinema to see they did the anniversary 4 episodes, I think it was, last year, and they were quite challenging at times. But Von Hoot's right, the characters are pitch perfect. Bit of trivia. Pardon me, D16 is D16 because of the Japanese toy boxes. Yeah. Very cool. Okay, spoilers for WandaVision, ladies and gents. So if you're not up to date with WandaVision, not WandaVision, sorry.
Agatha all along.
Yeah, if you're not up to date with, as James says, Agatha all along. Just look away. I don't want to go into too much detail here, guys, but we got the revelation at the end of the last episode, and then Disney have put out an image now, which I think is stunning. I really, really like this. I think this is cool. I'm really excited about the potential of this character if Disney get it right. Wiccan is a bit of a favourite of mine. I think he's great in the comics. Children's Crusade is a really, really strong book. This could lead to a lot of interest and stuff.
Could
if they don't.
Could. We've seen them set this kind of shit up and not go anywhere with it, though, is the thing, Yeah.
I'm enjoying the series. It's easy to watch. It's not blown us away, but it is a decent little watch. I'm hoping the last few episodes pick up the pace a little bit, and we'll see some interesting stuff. Efren, are you up to speed with it?
I didn't see this episode where they saying that that's his mom, but I have enjoyed it, the series. But at the same time, when I was watching it, I was saying this has nothing to do with Marvel Universe at all. Up to this point, I think just characters who happen to be witches. They talk about Scarlet Witch, I think, at the beginning of the series, but after that, they don't mention hardly any Marvel characters until this point. So this is the child that she had in WandaVision, the two little boys, right? One of them.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
gotcha.
Right. That's right.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting stuff coming. I think this is going to be a decent little series by the end of it. It's not going to blow anybody away, but I think it's a good watch.
I think it feels for me like a little bit uneventful.
Yeah.
There's not much, like it's quite slow, and I wish it was spookier as well. Because we talked.
Have you seen the last episode?
I haven't, but I've seen the spoilers for it, so I have to watch it. But
so the last episode's got some good spookiness in it.
Because I did like it's in the second episode, isn't it? But the things that are coming after Agatha are quite cool visually. I think and they have the spookiness to them. So I like that. So and in terms of we were talking about, we mentioned on One Good Scare last week that you're happy that this is kind of separate from other things, but for me, the horror kind of section of Marvel is my favorite. So I would have liked this to have, of anything to connect to other things, this is one I would have liked to have kind of seen.
But are we not being a bit impatient? I mean, we're only 4 episodes in. Maybe this is the start
4 of 6
of the horror. Yeah, but maybe this is the start of the horror universe. Do you know what I mean? This could, with Wiccan and the discovery of the witches and stuff, it could lead into more horror related content. Is my hopes.
Yeah, but that it's a carrot on a stick, then, isn't it? It's just it's always be excited for the next thing, not the thing that you just watched. So I would have liked some.
Why can you not? So this is a bit like the Joker discussion. Why can you not just watch the program and enjoy it for what it is, instead of kind of I want more of this, I want more of that
in the show?
Yeah. So
what you're saying, this could be a cool thing next that this sets up, and I'm I would like that thing now.
So what is it you want to see in this show?
I would have liked more spookiness. I think it would have been cool to have a couple more characters for me, a weak part is the supporting cast, not necessarily the actors, but the characters I don't find that interesting. So
more named characters rather.
A couple of characters maybe I recognize would have been cool, and I know the witch, but it didn't necessarily have to all be witches. You could have done a cool here's Man Thing is just there as well, something like that. I don't know.
Fair enough. Kevin is saying we all knew this was happening though, right? It makes sense considering all the Avengers during the MCU. Yeah, I think this was kind of played out from the very start. We knew this was coming.
As soon as he was cast.
Yeah.
We knew.
Yeah. SM, they could have explained how she knew he was Wanda. I don't think they did explain it. I think we've all just assumed, and because she does say you're so much more like your mother.
Well, Agatha says that.
Yeah. And then we'll get this kind of blue power coming in the headpiece. But it doesn't say, I'm Wanda's son or I'm Wiccan or anything like that. We've kind of just all assumed that that's what it is. And then Marvel have put out this poster. So they didn't say in the show, you are Scarlet Witch's son. So if you didn't know your Marvel lore, I guess you could argue that you probably wouldn't have picked up on that. Von Hoot. Agatha's been great fun. Badger and MVH love it. Could do with a little more horror, but I'm digging it. Yeah, I think that's fair. The show feels very geared towards children. Again, I would agree with that. It feels, I think we said on the
Hocus Pocusy,
very Hocus Pocus kind of thing.
And I hate Hocus Pocus, so that's possibly why.
This week and next week, I think Fuzzy. I might be wrong. I'm not sure. I think we've got 2 more.
Was the last one 5?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Because I'm almost certain it's a 6-episode show.
I'm not sure if the last one was 5 or 4.
I think the last one was 5.
Yeah. Maybe. So this week's might be the last. So that'll be interesting to see.
Well, then, exactly. So you're saying, something might happen. It's we're at the point now where that kind of needed to have...
Yeah, something better happened. So.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's 9 episodes.
Oh, 9? Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, then, okay.
There we go. Moving on. This is friggin' amazing. I've not seen Monday's episode, so no spoilers for the latest.
I've not seen any of it.
Oh, James. So I wasn't a massive fan of the Batman movie. I don't know why. It just didn't land with us, which is weird because I love Batman. I tried to watch it on streaming and I got bored. So I don't know, it just didn't float my boat. Penguin, I'm absolutely loving. This doesn't even need to be in the Batman universe, really. This could just be a kind of a crime show. It's spot on. Colin Farrell is just phenomenal in this. Absolutely phenomenal. The supporting cast are superb. Really, really recommend you check it out. James, check it out and try and get up to speed. We'll do a kind of an end of season show on it, I think.
Oh, I was going to wait for it to all tear and binge it. But how many episodes is it in? 3?
This week's is 4. So
and how many is going to be total?
I don't know. I'll
check.
Efren, have you watched it?
I love it. I think the actors are phenomenal. Even the little, even his sidekick, that actor's name, I forgot the kid that's helping him out. I think it's well done. I agree with you 100%. It doesn't even have to be a Batman movie or type Batman universe, you know. Yeah. And the Penguin, the actor Colin, he just does a phenomenal job. I just feel his pain just seeing him walk. And in episode 1, when he takes off his boot and they show his feet, I'm like, dang, man, you know, he's really. And just the way he manipulates things, you know, and every actor that's in this movie, in this show, is phenomenal. I have really enjoyed it. It doesn't even have to be a Batman movie. It's more like a gangster movie or show, you know, and I think it's well done. Yeah.
I'm loving it. It's it is great fun.
They've been saying I think people kind of prior to the show coming out were expecting that, like, oh, Batman will probably show up at, like, for a cameo at some point, and they've been very clear that he's not. Do you think he is gonna though? Like, do you think they're just saying that, or it's just like,
I hope not.
I think it'd be cool to get a scene.
I think he'd show up just for a split second. I think it'd be cool. You know?
Is he active? Do you hear that he's done things or anything? Is there a mention of Batman at all?
I don't think so.
They mentioned Batman at the beginning of the show, the first episode, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
And Riddler.
Because it's interesting, because as a crime show, like crime in Gotham, like you see it. One of the things that I loved about the Batman was at the beginning of it, it emphasizes how he has kind of this grip over the city's criminals. Yeah. So I would find it weird to not hear that he did something, or if, you know, some goons are being hired for something that they're maybe a bit skeptical because Batman might show up. Like, I think that would, you know. That makes sense to me.
We haven't had it yet, but we might have. You might be right. Von Hooter's saying, honestly, James, I don't think the Penguin would be a great show to binge. It needs a little breathing room.
Okay, fine. I'll start it tonight then. Yeah.
Once you've watched it, we'll do a kind of a season end, because Fuzzy's just saying here 2 more weekly episodes, and a final 2-episode drop on the 30th. For Agatha. Oh, sorry, that's Agatha, not Penguin. I'm loving it, and as Kevin says, Farrell deserves an Emmy for this. He's superb in this.
Agreed.
He really is superb. Yeah, we've got James. Nice to see you, James. Hope you're well, bud. So yeah, is well worth checking out. So guys, favorite Penguin. Efren, we'll start with you.
God, just because it's the newest one, and I just think Colin Farrell is just nailing Penguin. You know, I would have said Burt Ward, the first one with the 1960s Batman. I always liked the campiness of it. But the Penguin Penguin show that's out right now, he's just nailing this character. You know, so I would have to say with the most recent one.
Okay. I'm going to go. I have to say, I think the guy who played him in Gotham was superb as well. But Danny DeVito for the win for me. Always going to be Danny DeVito. James, how about you?
This is tough. Actually, because I know when someone's a favorite Joker, you have your gut reaction immediately, whereas this one you have to think for a minute. The guy in Gotham was great, I thought. Like, he's effectively a main character, one of the main characters of that show. So I thought he's always great. Having not watched the show, I feel reluctant to say Colin Farrell, but I love Colin Farrell's Penguin. So I'd probably at the moment go Danny DeVito. Yeah. Just go rah, 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 and just like how he gave that his all, like he bit into fish and the bile, and I just love how gross it is, like spitting the green bile.
Love it when he bites the guy's nose off. Yeah. Could be worse. My nose could be pouring with blood. Fuzzy's just saying you're missing a penguin, the female penguin from the new cartoon show. Yeah, I've not seen that show yet.
I haven't either.
It's very good. Yeah,
it's a good show. You guys should watch it, definitely.
Yeah, I'll have to kind of catch up on that.
Cape Crusader.
Yeah, I think that's what
it's called. Yeah, it was on Amazon. Yeah.
I've heard it's good. Good. Just a bit of quick comic book news. This is interesting. 80s nostalgia is rife at the moment. We've had Thundercats, Transformers. We've got Space Ghost. at the moment, and now word of Silverhawks coming to Dynamite Comics as usual. This has got about 4 billion covers for issue number 1. I have to say, guys, I remember Silverhawks and I remember the theme tune being incredible, but I can't remember watching the cartoon very much. Either of you guys familiar with Silverhawks?
Never even heard of it.
No, me neither. Is this a comic book before this?
No, it was a cartoon. So it was back in the 80s, the kind of when Transformers and all that kind of stuff was out. It was very much around that time. It's not a one I'm familiar with. I'll probably pick up the first issue just to see what it's like. Dynamite certainly seems to be tapping into this nostalgia kind of thing at the moment. So yeah, I'll give that one a go. Kevin's just saying Danny DeVito was phenomenal at the time, but I personally don't think his performance or that movie has aged well. Interesting, Kevin. This is something me and James in particular do a lot of, going back and watching films from 20, 30 years ago. I have to say I've not watched Batman Returns in probably 15 years, 20 years.
I watched it just last year, I think, for like the first time I gave it a proper chance.
Yeah.
Because I'd always just not liked it, and I loved it. So like for me, it's like I love it more now than I did when I was younger.
Yeah, it's one I would like to go back and watch again. I really would. I remember Terrorhawks more than Silverhawks. I remember Terrorhawks with they were puppets as well, weren't they? Was it Zelda? I think was in that. So yeah, it leads to a crossover with Thundercats. Yay! Von Hoot, that's because Batman Return blows. How dare you? It's got Keaton in it. Nothing with Keaton in blows. Wanted to mention this. We're in the Absolute universe at the moment. Superman comes out this week, I believe. I'm going to be picking that up. I got sucked into buying a whole host of Batman, Absolute Batman number 1s. Either of you guys read it yet?
I have not, but I've been hearing good things about it. You know,
really interesting book.
Is it the same Batman from the regular universe?
It's like the Ultimate Universe. It's a different universe of Batman. I'm not going to give spoilers away, but I wasn't a fan of the bulk of Batman.
Yeah,
but it makes sense in the story. They do some really interesting things with his costume, stuff that I've just never even thought about. Like,
I like the like hooks at the end of the wings, like the way that Bash has them. I think that's cool. Like
they're used to kind of grab a hold of people and throw them around, stuff like that. His bat sign detaches and turns into an axe. He's the cowl, the ears on the cowl detach into knives that kind of look like his batarangs. So it is really interesting. This image is up here because this is the artwork for the cover to issue number 1, and it's recently sold. So this is an original piece of artwork sold. How much do you think it went for, guys?
Are we talking about American dollars?
Yeah.
$8,000.
Yeah, not bad. Efren?
It is original art, right? Yeah. Is it one page?
It's the cover. It's the cover.
The cover A of issue 1 of Absolute Batman.
Or I could see something over 10,000. Somebody would want this.
Yeah. So normally that's kind of the ballpark you'd go for original art. Remember, about $3-4 grand. It was, shout out because it was Fuzzy that put us onto this bit of news. This went, and this shows how popular this series is gone. Cover A, so your standard cover, is selling for around about £12 to £15 at the moment. It's gone nuts, absolutely nuts. This sold for $70,000. I mean, that is just insane.
Jesus.
Insane.
The whoever bought it is probably keeping their fingers crossed that this will, go up in price throughout this.
I think whoever bought it doesn't. $70,000 is probably nothing to them, and they're just a Batman fan and they love this artwork and they like the comics. So they're like,
there was an interesting thing on Instagram as well that someone had taken. I think it was the blank cover or something to a convention, and Scott Snyder, who's the writer on this, was there. And either Scott or the artist, I can't remember, drew it, and it's a pretty crappy, to be honest, image of Batman's face on this comic. For the happy fan, put it on Scott Snyder put it on Instagram and said possibly the first ever sketch on this book. Within hours, it was up for sale on eBay for a couple of £100. It's like, so yeah. Fuzzy's just confirming they've then gone on and sold every single page of the book. Yeah, I think it's Felix Art, isn't it? who are a big retailer of original comic art. They do all of Daniel Warren Johnson stuff as well. So yeah, worth picking up if you can get yourselves a hold of a copy of issue 1. In terms of investment, it's probably worth grabbing. Went mental when I went to Forbidden Planet. I haven't got them here to show you. And I think I got 8 different versions of the first cover, including 3 blank sketch covers. So yeah, very, very cool. Very cool. Now, guys, this is a little bit of weirdness. Do you remember a couple of months back on one of these shows, I talked to you about Savage Dragon and how I was appalled at how dirty the book was in terms of Mickey Mouse.
Oh, yes, I remember this. Yeah.
Mickey Mouse was kind of upskirting people and stuff like that. The story, again, Fuzzy sent this my way, the story has progressed, and within the pages of the comics now, so that's some of the images of Mickey. You can see the detail in some of the images is pretty rough. In some of the imagery, I haven't put those ones on the screen, but in some of the imagery, you really see even more detail and things. Anyway, within the comic, they've now decided they're going to sue Mickey Mouse for sexual harassment. I just find this really bizarre. I cannot believe Disney I know he's in public domain now, but surely to God, Disney's arming up with lawyers to try and tackle this, I would have thought.
In the context of the story, what is he?
Cartoon mouse? I don't know.
No, but like, what is he? This is a human woman. What is he? Like, is he a... What do you mean they're going to sue him? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I presume they'll not be able to say within the comic that he's Disney, but they're using his name there. Mickey Mouse has lawyers, more lawyers than God. So they're suing the character of Mickey Mouse.
What's the purpose of him being in this book? Is he like a sidekick or just? I don't.
He just turned up out of nowhere and started sexually abusing people.
I just understand why they would do that. Maybe, unless they have a vendetta against Disney for some reason.
I think Eric Larson probably hates Disney for some reason. Yeah. He's never going to get any work there, is he? Let's be honest.
I don't get it.
But also, like, you can see that her skirt is very short there. Like, you can see a few details. That's kind of surprising.
Some of the images are far worse than that, James. You can see fluids and things. It's not good. So yeah, interesting. Fuzzy's just saying, in the story, Savage Dragon has taken Steamboat Willie to court for sexual harassment against his girlfriend.
Yeah. So in the comic they say Mickey Mouse, but I'm pretty sure it's Steamboat Willie, not Mickey Mouse. That's copy. Like, so you can't actually say Mickey Mouse.
Well, that's a page from the comic, so they have said Mickey Mouse.
Well, that might get them in trouble then.
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to say Mickey Mouse. I think Mickey Mouse is still technically...
Public domain is public domain as long as it's based only on the version from Steamboat Willie or new ideas Disney can't do squad. It's terrifying, really. Okay, we're going to end on something which I think is interesting and I had never heard of. So this was from early 2000s. This was something that came to, I'll pronounce his name, Dan Didio or whatever. A number of creators had... Stop laughing at it, Zephyr. How do you pronounce it? You're muted. You're muted.
How do you spell his last name?
D-I-D-O, I think, isn't it?
Dido.
Dan Dido.
Tears come cold, I'm wondering why. That's Fido. Is that Fido or Dido? That's Dido.
That's Fido. So some creators had set up this crossover event. And it was Justice League versus Star Wars. It was presented as a done deal pretty much to Dan, who was in charge of Marvel at the time, that they could get these characters on board, that could get some of the work done. Alex Ross was doing the artwork for it. But Dido basically said that it was so much of a nightmare in terms of the arguments about which character would win, who would have heroic moments, who would be beaten, who would be the good guy, and all that kind of stuff, that he said it just wasn't worth the time or the effort. So they binned it. Is this something you would like to see?
I would. I think it'd be cool. Just seeing crossovers you don't normally see. I think Superman would beat the crap out of Darth Vader easily.
Force choke him.
Yeah. But Superman is so strong.
Strong as the Force?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I think he would beat him easily. you know.
I mean, I think that Alex Ross image of him holding the lightsaber is friggin' phenomenal.
I think the artwork is pretty stunning. It is interesting that we've not had something like that, especially with Disney owning both. Like Marvel and
James. We've talked before about where Marvel goes. 20 years time, mark my words, will have massive Disney crossover events. Do you know what I mean? You'll have Star Wars crossing over with Marvel, all that kind of stuff. That's the only natural way, because the MCU, to be fair, has made it so big now in terms of event movies. You've got to keep escalating, so they escalated into multiverse. Yeah. The only logical
where do you go after that?
Like
you've brought back, you've tied into movies from 20 years ago. What's the next thing? It's other universes, other movies, franchises. Like this is it's a shame that, like, it is weird that that's just never happened. There's never been a Star Wars crossover with anything really, like other than like the Indiana Jones technically. But I mean, the artwork, it's like, oh, this looks cool. Like I'd be very curious to see how these characters would interact and
Are you guys familiar with YouTube channel called Bat in the Sun?
It sounds familiar.
They do some incredible, they started off as kind of amateur filmmakers, and I think they've got deals and things now, but they do some incredible movies, well worth Googling. They've done like Wolverine versus...
Oh, yes, sorry, yes, I've seen this, yeah.
They've done a superb Batman versus Darth Vader. Have you seen that one?
I think so.
Oh, it's friggin' amazing. Special. So Batman has a lightsaber battle with Vader and stuff, and it's incredible. It's well worth checking out. Von Hoot is saying that Ross is gorgeous. Absolutely is. This explains where Superman Vader pick came from. Yeah. Superman is nowhere near Earth's yellow sun, to be fair. That's right. And he deep powers when he's not next to a yellow sun.
There you go. Also, would he's vulnerable to magic? Would the Force be considered magic?
That's a good point. I don't know. Is the Force magic, or is it religion, or what is it?
Well, it is within the context of the universe. It's of that universe.
Magic. Dido was editor-in-chief of DC Comics at the time. Love Bat in the Sun, a superhero beatdown. There's some superb ones. If you've not seen them, Efren, really, really do recommend checking them out. They are absolutely incredible. Darth Lopez, what's this? This is a cancelled DC Justice League versus Star Wars, which unfortunately never saw the light of day, but got some production artwork done by Alex Ross. So yeah, stunning stuff. Okay, chaps, we're done. We're at an hour and a half. Thank you so much for your time. Just to mention, that's where I am. You can go and see me on all those various channels and streaming platforms. On my channel, we've got I Can View This All Day. We're Retro Movie Review. Triple J Tuesdays, different kind of live show every Tuesday night. This Tuesday, we'll probably be doing a review of HorrorCon and some other bits and bobs. I'll think what we're going to do, because we might do that on to that channel. I'll see. We'll have a chat with James. We've got 1/6 scale action figure reviews, comic book reviews, interviews, comic hunts, all that kind of stuff. I've got my random live show, which I do once a week now. And we've got the Killer Comic Show most Thursdays, not on this Thursday, I believe, because myself and Andy aren't available. And of course, we've got One Good Scare, which we'll talk about in just a second. My latest video, which is out at the moment, is me picking up a stunning Secret Wars CGC book. It's dead in the water, that video. I think it's only got about 60 views. So
I love it. I'm sorry, Peter. I've seen that video, and I want that book now. I didn't know it was available. Like, oh my God, I love that video. Everybody should go check it out. Seriously, it's such a good video.
Yeah. It's a very cool book. It's a very, very cool book. So yeah, please do check that out. One Good Scare, James, what we've got happening there?
Yeah, we have One Good Scare live on Friday. So we talked about a few different things. Chucky getting cancelled. Alien Isolation game was announced. We reviewed a few movies as well, so they'll probably be going up on the channel as standalone videos at some point during the week. And then we have I'll Be Right Back on Terrifier, so that will be Thursday, I believe. We'll be sticking it up. And then we'll have some for little horror shorts and stuff over the weekend as well.
Good stuff. Efren, what have we got coming up on your channel?
I try to do a weekly show on my channel on Saturdays at 6 p.m. I know most of you guys are asleep, but if you're wake up, have insomnia, you can't sleep at 2 a.m. your time, I think will come on. It's my version of Geek News. I just talk about, comic book news, entertainment news with my cousin Momo Comics 80. We do it once a week, and Peter and I are going to be doing our monthly advanced orders. Probably in a couple of weeks, on both our channels. They'll be on there, and just whenever I feel like doing a video, I just hop on YouTube and just have fun.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Lots of great content, so please do check that out. Okie dokie, that's your whack. Thank you very much, everybody. Fuzzy saying he loves your work, and he's blowing you a kiss, Keegers. There's something interesting going on. Oh my god. On that, but
you love it. You love
god.
it.
I'm